Sup? This is Alex Chu coming at you with another episode. This episode, hold on, let me see. This episode, I want to talk about Daniel chapter 7. And I want to tell you who is the Ancient of Days, okay? Hold on. But before I tell you that, I want to talk to you about my immortality rings, okay? My name is Alex Chu. I'm the guy who invented physical immortality rings. These are rings that you put on your small fingers during sleep. You wear them, you don't age anymore. You become physically immortal. For example, I'm already 50. I'm 50-year-old. In half a year, I'll be 51, right? I still look pretty good, you know? Still sound very young. You look at my belly is really smooth, you know? See, I don't have any muscles. You know what that means? That means I never work out. You can tell I don't work out, you know? Usually when men, okay, when they're 50, the only way to keep fit, the only way to keep them skinny is to work out. So you can see lots of muscles, you know, at their waist, right? But you don't see any muscles on mine. That means I never work out, okay? And I'm 50. I don't work out. How do I stay so slim, right? If you go to my website, livemuchlonger.com, I have lots of testimonials from Amazon customers. Most of them give me 4 stars or 5 stars. So if you are interested in becoming physically young forever, you want to look like me when you're 50, livemuchlonger.com, livemuchlonger.com. Today I want to talk about Daniel chapter 7, okay? The Ancient of Days. I know it's Joe Biden. It has got to be Joe Biden, okay? Um, I'm going to play you a clip of chapter 7 so you can hear it for yourself.
His bed, he wrote down the substance of his dream. Daniel said, "In my vision at night I looked, and there before me were the 4 winds of heaven churning up the great sea. 4 great beasts, each different from the others, came up out of the sea. The first was like a lion, and it had..."
Okay, there's going to be 4 great beasts coming out of the ocean, okay? 4 great beasts coming out of the ocean, then it cannot be Europe. It cannot be Asia. It cannot be Australia, okay? It cannot be Africa. You know why? Because those are land. Those are lands. Those are lands that is already known to the known world. You know, even 2,000 some years ago, people already know about, you know, the Far East. They know about China. They know about Russia, right? I'm talking about, see, this Bible. I mean, this is written by Israelis, right? By somebody in the Middle East. They already know about Asia. They already know about Russia. They already know about Africa, right? The only land that come out of the ocean is America. You know, the newfound land, America, North America or South America. So that's the reason why beasts represents nations or kingdom or empire. You know, they come out of the ocean, so it must be somewhere in America. You know, because this is like new. This is brand new. This is not. This is land that has not been discovered yet. It came out of the ocean. That means it was discovered by Columbus, right? Came out of the ocean. Okay, 4 beasts come out of the ocean.
It had the wings of an eagle. I watched until its wings were torn off, and it was lifted from the ground so that it stood on 2 feet like a man, and the heart...
Okay, this one is talking about first beast. It looks like it's a lion, right? It has wings. If I mean, it came out, right? It has wings, but then wings were torn off, and then the lion stood up like a man. So this is talking about the 13 colonies. You know how 13 colonies. It looks like a standing up man, right? The Florida is the feet, and then New York, whatever, New York, Boston, that's the head, right? So it looked like a standing up man. Torn off wings means the 13 colonies declare independence, right? The lion represents the British crown. The British crown. Wings were torn off. It means settlers came to America and they became independent from Britain, right? So that's the first beast. Whoops, hold on. Huh, how come it's not working? Hold on a minute.
Of a man was given to it. And there before me was a second beast, which looked like a bear. It was raised up on one of its sides, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. It was told, Get up and eat your fill of flesh. After that I looked.
Okay, the second beast is a bear, right? It stands on one side. So basically, the bear stands up stands up like that, like it raises its feet like that, stand on one side. The bear stand on one side. And then it has 3 ribs inside his mouth. Usually ribs, Adam, see, God produces Eve using one rib of Adam, right? So usually the rib represents territory that was created, new territory or new kingdom or new territory that was created from this original kingdom. So the bear represents all the way to Alaska. Alaska has a lot of bears, right? California also has a lot of bears. The California flag is also the bear. So it means this newfound kingdom is 13 colonies stretch all the way to the west coast. Three ribs. One rib is the Louisiana Purchase. The other rib is they occupy Mexico. Occupy a whole chunk of Mexico. And then the third rib is they bought Alaska from Russia. So you see the bear stand up on one side because here's America, here's Alaska, and it's bears basically two. It's like two separate territory. They're not connected. But then that's the reason why bears stand up on one side like that. So that's the second beast. Okay, it means America has transformed from just 13 colonies all the way to, it becomes coast to coast. Okay.
And there before me was another beast, one that looked like a leopard, and on its back it had 4 wings like those of a bird. This beast had 4 heads, and it was given authority to rule. After that, in my vision,
Uh, Another beast that looks like a leopard. Okay. Leopard. Uh, leopard usually represents Africa. Leopard usually represents Africa. It's the second beast is stretching from 13 colonies to the west coast, right, coast to coast. But then it was still under slavery, right? But then after Civil War, Abraham Lincoln lead the Union Army and they won the war. The leopard beast began, right? The a country, United States without slavery, right? So the leopard beast. I don't know what the 4 wings are about, okay? But I know the 4 heads. This beast has 4 heads. That I'm pretty sure it points to Mount Rushmore, because Mount Rushmore was they developed in 1925, right? But then America is still under segregation. I mean, white people and black people, they cannot go to the same school. Sorry. White people and black people cannot go to the same school. They have to have different drinking water fountains and stuff like that, right? So that's the third beast. The third beast, the 4 heads represents Mount Rushmore. Okay, I believe that's what I believe.
night I looked, and there before me was a 4th beast, terrifying and frightening and very powerful. It had large iron teeth. It crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. It was different from all the former beasts, and it had 10 horns. While I was thinking about the horns, there before me was another horn.
Okay, this fourth beast, it has iron teeth, and it's very, very powerful. It has iron teeth is Eisenhower, you know, Dwight Eisenhower. Why? Because Eisenhower is iron teeth. Hauen means to cut. Usually to cut grass or cut something, cut wood. Hauen, but it could also means to chew. It could also means chew. Okay, to chew on something or to cut something. Eisenhower. Eisen means iron, right? Iron. Hawa means cutter or chewer. Eisenhower means iron chewer. So it has iron teeth, right? And then on top of its head, it has 10 horns. The 10 horns is the 10 presidents that come after Eisenhower. First is Kennedy, second is Johnson, third is Nixon, the fourth one is Gerald Ford, fifth one is Carter, sixth one is Reagan, seventh one is Bush, eighth one is Clinton, the ninth one is Bush Jr., right? The 10th one is Obama, right? Okay, let's move on.
Horn, a little one, which came up among them, and 3 of the first horns were uprooted before it. This horn had eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth.
Okay, there's another one, another horn come out. That's the 11th horn. That's Trump. Okay, it has eyes of a man. It also has mouth. It can speak, and then it uprooted 3 horns. Like there's 3 horns, right? When the little one come out, right? When the little horn came out, the 3 horns they broke off. You know, the 3 horns they broke off. I tell you who that is. The 3 horns are Clinton, Bush Jr., and Obama. Why? Because in Clinton's era, right? They developed this plan to declare Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. You know, they had this resolution. It passed a bill, right? Passed a bill in Congress saying that United States will recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. But it has been waived. It has been waived. It has been delayed. You know, that process has been delayed. Clinton delayed it. Obama delayed it. I mean, George W. Bush delayed it, and then Obama also delayed it. Those are the 3 horns. But when Trump became the president, he immediately passed that. I mean, he immediately allowed that bill to fulfill. You know, he immediately allowed that bill to become law. So he uprooted those 3 horns. You know, he uprooted the Clinton, W. Bush, and also Obama, right? And then that little horn grew out. He's a little horn because he's not a politician. You know, he was a TV celebrity, right? At first, nobody think that Trump could win, but then, wow, eventually Trump won. You know, he grew bigger and bigger. He won. He actually became the president. The reason why he's a horn, and he has eyes and mouths, and he can speak. The reason is because the name Trump, it does mean horn. You know, in ancient time, all the horns are made of, all the trumpets are made of horns, right? You know, when you blow a horn, right? You know, all the trumpets are made of horns back in the days. You understand? So he is a horn, and he has eyes and mouths, and he can speak because he is a living horn. His name is Trump. So his name is actually horn. He is the horn that can speak, and he can speak and see. Am I right?
Mouth that spoke boastfully. As I looked, thrones were set in place, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was as white as snow, the hair of his head was white like wool. His throne was flaming with fire, and its wheels were all ablaze. A river of fire was flowing, coming out from before him. Thousands upon thousands attended him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court was seated, and the books were opened. Then a
Okay, the Ancient of Days. This, I believe, is Biden. Why? Because, you know, the Ancient of Days, you know, when I heard Joe Biden won, right? And then I start to think Joe Biden, it sounds very, very familiar. You know, it sounds like the book of Job. Joe Biden, right? Joe Biden, Job, the book of Job. And you know what? A lot of people don't know, okay? A lot of people think that the oldest book in the Bible is actually the Torah, the first 5 books of Moses. That is wrong. That's not the oldest book in the Bible. Is not the first five book of Moses. The oldest book in the Bible, okay, the entire Bible is the book of Job. You know, it's the book of Job. That's the oldest book. In Talmud, right? In Talmud, they said that Moses actually wrote it. Moses wrote the book of Job when he was when he was living in Median. He got married to Zipporah in Median, right? When he escaped from Egypt and he settled in Median. Based on Talmud, he wrote the book of Job. When he got married to Zipporah, and then when he lead people out of Egypt, right, he wrote the first five book of Moses in the wilderness. So the book of Job is a lot earlier than the first five book of Moses, right? So Ancient of Days, it must be the book of Job. It must be talking about the book of Job because it's even earlier than Genesis, right? The Genesis is talking about God created heaven and earth, and then now He created day and night, right? Then after He created heaven and earth, the first thing He created is day, Ancient of Days. Then it must mean something that's a lot more ancient than the book of Genesis. So you're talking about the book of Job. If you read the book of Job, right, the first few sentences it says, in the land of Uz, there lived a man named Job. What a coincidence! Uz in the land of Uz is spelled in English U-Z, but in Hebrew it's not U-Z. In Hebrew it's just in the land of Uz, right? In the land of Uz, it's U.S. Actually, it's U.S. United States. Uz in the land of Uz. There lived a man named Job. Job is Joe Biden. So the Ancient of Days, and the Ancient of Days has white hair. White hair. Joe Biden has white hair. He has. It says he has white cloak. He's wearing a white cloak. I don't know about that. Maybe it means he's holy or something. I believe his throne of fire. He's sitting on a throne of fire, and then there's fire, a river of fire coming out before his throne. I believe Joe Biden will eventually uh, ask China for help. Trump is going to. You see, Trump is not over yet. Trump is still in the news. Trump is still, you know, uh, controlling the Republican Party. He's not over yet. I believe that eventually Trump will declare independence for the southern states. There's going to be another civil war. And Ancient of Days is Joe Biden, and he's sitting the throne of fire. I believe he's China would back him. China's flag looked like fire. China's going to back Joe Biden.
I continued to watch because of the boastful words the horn was speaking. I kept looking until the beast was slain and its body destroyed and thrown into the blazing fire. The other beasts had been stripped of their authority, but were allowed to live for a period of time. In my vision at night I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence.
And then the Messiah appears, okay? But I'm not going to go into the Messiah today. I'm just going to tell you that I believe Joe Biden is the Ancient of Days, And this country has only 7 more years. This country has only 7 more years. I'm talking about from the time of Trump. So you count. Trump already wasted 4 years, right? So it's 17, 18, 19, 20. And then 21, 22, 23. So this country will exist until 2023. And then 2024 the Messiah would appear. That's what I believe in. Okay. But hope you like this channel. Okay, this today. That's all I'm gonna. If you like my channel, please subscribe.